Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the sadness of hype that is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We got ourselves another trailer at Tokyo Game Show this year, and Nintendo really knows how to cut us deep, and the tears continue to flow. I'm ready to analyze the secrets to the sadness of the second trailer when it comes to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So with that being said, let's dive right into the darkness. This is HMK. Let's begin the analysis. Alright, as we start the trailer, it starts off pretty big. Akkala is on fire. The Calamity has started. We can tell that for a number of reasons. One, Akkala Citadel is on fire. And two, Ashika Tower is already erected from the base of Akkala Citadel. And 3, we have a guardian in the foreground which is short-circuiting. Basically meaning it was active, but no longer active. It's deaded now. It's out of commission. It's down for the count. And man, Nintendo really knows how to cut us deep when it comes to opening up this trailer, because when it comes to Akkala Citadel, from what we played with Breath of the Wild, the majesty of that gigantic building, we want to see it in its pure majesty. We want to see it happening, bumping, surrounded by love, excitement, and people. And now we're starting off this trailer with Akkala Citadel on fire, in ruin. Its time is up. Oh baby, I'm not ready for this game. Yet, at the same time, I'm pretty ready. And then next up, we have Zelda and the Infinite Sadness. Here we have her weeping from what seems to be Hyrule Castle once the Great Calamity has already begun. A few things that give this away is that the red sky is already burning in the background. We can see some ruins behind Zelda, which gives away that this is Hyrule Castle. And the biggest taker is that off in the distance, we can see a Sheikah pillar. So it's already red, it's already going down, the Calamity has started. But this is before the fall of Link at Hateno Village. So probably this, her trying to seal Calamity Ganon, and then she quickly realizes that her abilities are for naught and that her situation looks pretty futile. And that in the coming moments, it's looking like it's going to be pretty unpretty. So probably after this moment, we're going to have Link grab her and be like, listen, we got to get out of here. And then we're going to see her get to Fort Hateno, and then what's going to go down is going to go down. Leading into the tapestry, the famous tapestry shown from Breath of the Wild, when it shows the history of Calamity Ganon and the ancient history of Hyrule 10,000 years prior. We know this, we see it all the time. But now, for this trailer, we're going to see a twist in which it's getting muddied up by some sort of liquid. It could be that the ink is running from some water, some dastardly fluids, but I'm thinking that this is liquid malice seeping from Calamity Ganon, the middle, emanating from his presence and just messing up the tapestry from what should go down as Link and Zelda and the champions and the guardians and Hyrule victorious against Calamity Ganon. And Ganon's like, haha, nah B, this is going down my way. Let me show you the power of malice. And literally he's using the malice on the map, on the tapestry, to take over the guardians and the divine beasts. We're going to see that in full force as we go on with this trailer. Here we have Mifa, and I have to say that this is pre-champion Mifa, because she doesn't have her champion scarf, her champion tassel, or her champion robe, whatever you want to call it. And here she's meeting up with Link in his soldier's gear. She states, "Oh Link, it's been a while, my have you grown, but yet you have not changed." This actually goes in line with what is said in Mifa's diary in Breath of the Wild, creating a champion, which is really cool because it's showing us that Age of Calamity is trying to go in line with pre-established lore from what we saw from the original Breath of the Wild, and creating a champion and Masterworks. But I have to say, I meant to say Champion's Ballad earlier, because I'm pretty sure I said creating a champion. No, it's Mifa's Diary in Champion's Ballad, the DLC of the original game. So Link is meeting up with her, and they're having a cool conversation. And I like to say, looking at this graphical style, the graphical fidelity of the Breath of the Wild style, I'm really liking how far it's come, because, of course, the original Breath of the Wild was developed on the Wii U and a Nintendo Switch. So seeing the graphical style of this improve on a game specifically for Nintendo Switch is very eye-opening and very reassuring that we're going to see some cool stuff in Age of Calamity and, of course, Breath of the Wild 2. I'm excited. Next up, we see a battle scene of Mifa using the light scale trying to fight a bunch of bokoblins on the Great Zora Bridge, or the Zora Bridge, great or not, but Zora Domain, this is the Zora's Bridge. She's attacking him with a wave of water, forming up a giant water tornado. Yo, this hydrokinesis, I am all for it. Let's go. light scale trident. Next up, we see Mifa hugging little baby Sidon. But I like to say a couple of things about this. This is the model used for baby Sidon from Champions Battle, the original Breath of the Wild game. And I just gotta say, this model has been existing since 2017. How long has Age of Calamity been in the pocket of Nintendo and Koei Tecmo? Was this model created preemptively in order to have the cutscene, or to make sure that they have it ready for Age of Calamity? The real questions that we really have to ask. Because, I mean, this game is coming out in November, and I just want to know when the development of this game began. Tell me, Nintendo. Tell me, Koei Tecmo. I need to know. And another thing to consider from the background of Zora's Domain that we see this scene is we see a blockade made up of wooden spikes. This is common during wartime and warfare, so it looks like the Calamity or the pre-Calamity events, the war of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, is already going down and they're preparing for that. Next up, we see Mifa and Zelda talking to her father, King Dorfan, about Mifa wanting to pilot Varuta, because this is a good chance for her to learn how to fight new enemies in new ways. And as we all know from Breath of the Wild and from the diaries and all of the lore, the Zora people were pretty adamant of letting their princess pilot such a dangerous machine. And we all know this definitely ends in tears. And I like to say that King Dorfan here seems a bit leaner than what he looks like 100 years later in Breath of the Wild. But I don't blame him for gaining a little extra weight, because I mean, it is 100 years later. Time will do that to you. And you know, the stress of burying your daughter will do that to you as well. As we see Varuta, which represents Mifa, and we see the malice, the ink, the wetness of it going towards divine beast of Varuta and Mifa, then this basically tells us, yeah, it's going to be taken over by the malice of Calamity Ganon. So, I mean, like, we already know it's going to go down. You know, maybe it's not the malice that's, you know, wetting up the ink of the paper of this parchment. Maybe it's not the malice. Maybe it's my tears. You know, maybe it's just me I don't know. Alright, next up we have Daruk meeting up with Link, Zelda, and yes, this has been confirmed to be Impa from the gameplay we saw at TGS. And then we have the little egg guardian, the little egg machine, egg bot, R2-D2, which we already have a name for it. Apparently, from my understanding, it's known as Ray. Ray the egg. Ray the mini guardian. Don't get attached to this thing. It's pre-Calamity. The Calamity is going to go down. Ganon, Guardian, Shikatek. Don't get attached to this. Guilty Spark. So don't get attached to the egg, please. I'm telling you. So, yeah, here Daruk is all excited with the crew, and then they're going off to Varadunia. And he's saying that, yeah, Varadunia is in a pretty tough spot, which, from the next scene we gather, it's probably in the maw of the crater of Death Mountain. And from what we know with Breath of the Wild, the original Breath of the Wild, Daruk had the most trouble piloting his divine beast. So he's kind of adamant about going after it. Man, maybe he's excited or not, but he's going to have some trouble controlling this giant lizard. Going on, we have some gameplay with our boy Daruk. Now, here's a couple of things you need to understand about this gameplay segment. From the TGS gameplay, we got the confirmation that all the characters will be able to use Sheikah Slate runes. However, depending on the character, the runes will act differently. This is really cool because here in a move for Daruk, he is summoning a fireball out of the ground, yet using stasis in tandem in order to bring a powerful, fiery, crunchy attack to his foes. This is really cool. And if you haven't seen the gameplay to the TGS, then you will see that the runes do act differently for each character. In case in point, when Link is using the remote bomb runes, he's just throwing a bunch of bombs and a flurry of a bomb rush flurry. Yeah, bomb rush flurry, you want to use that. But when Daruk uses it, he just summons a giganto bomb. But honestly, this gameplay looks so tight and I cannot wait for, seeing how other characters use other runes. And next up, we got the confirmation of the return of Talises. The return of Talises, the return because Age of Calamity comes before Breath of the Wild in terms of the timeline 100 years prior, but it's a retroactive prequel, so did they return? Have they always been there? Whatever. Igneo Talis, everyone. And confirmation of Talis bosses will be here. And another thing to consider is that on the back of the Talis, we see the weak point or deposit. Now, here's one thing we have to understand. We do have the confirmation that Link can use his bow once again from the TGS gameplay, and he can aim with it. Now, for those who can't use a bow, how is this gonna work? Probably they may be able to use the power of rods. Now, the rods have been shown off once again in the TGS gameplay, and they have a durability. Not the regular weapons, but the rods that you're able to pick up off the ground during combat have durability. And the way they work is that when you use them, you have to select an area of effect marker, an AoE marker, for the element to rain down. So maybe that's how you're able to attack the ore deposit on the back. Or maybe it's just there for show and it's not really a weak point. But we have to wait and see, because I mean, we have the confirmation here, but we have not seen Link or anyone fight one in terms of gameplay. Oh man, I can't wait for this game. And then off Daruk goes to Varadunia, using the power of Daruk's protection and a spire that he can summon in combat. So this literally could be combat, because the way he rolls is that, you know, the way he fast runs is by rolling. So this could be combat or this could be a cutscene. It's unknown, but we'll have to wait and see. And now we have the malice, the sadness, the tears rolling up to Varadunia. Goodbye, Daruk. Yep. Next up, we have the Queen. That's right, the Queen of the Gerudo people, Arbosa. Once again, we have Zelda, Link, Impa, and Egg. Yeah, Egg. Arbosa is right here next to Va Naboris, and she's like, no longer. Yes, I will pilot this divine beast. So basically, this is her confirmation that she's going to go ahead and become a champion. And once again, this pre-champion Arbosa, because she has her crown and she doesn't have the champion skirt on her. So, I mean, like, we're going to see the events leading up to them becoming champions, which is really cool. Man, Nintendo really didn't have to make this game, but I am so down for it. And then, Arbosa gameplay. This is spicy. She's using Arbosa's Fury, and that is a very big area of effect damage marker attacking all of these enemies. But I want to say something, that these are, you know, electric Lizalfos, thunder Lizalfos, lightning Lizalfos, and they shouldn't really be affected by lightning, yet Arbosa seems to be handling them. She's ripping through them. Does she command a furious lightning that cuts through lightning itself? Yeah, there it is. They're goneth. Alright, looks like things are going down. Arbosa, Link, Impa, and a couple of Gerudo guards are protecting Zelda from what could be a siege of Yiga clan members, because they are in the Gerudo desert and they have been stationed there, and the Gerudo and the Yiga have been feuding for a while, and Impa looks pretty pissed, so it could be like, oh, look, it's these traitors and whatnot. And yes, I know, Link is here within Gerudo Town, which shouldn't be a thing, because it's a #1 rule that no outside males, or no males period, should be in Gerudo Town. But I mean, in times of war, maybe the restriction got lifted, especially since, you know, Arbosa is the queen, the ruler of the Gerudo people at this time. So I mean, maybe she lifted the rule for a special occasion. But I mean, that doesn't really coincide with what happened in the footnotes of Breath of the Wild when it comes to Arbosa's diary, where Zelda would use the rule to get away from Link, knowing that Link could not go inside Gerudo Town. But I mean, like, maybe there is some hidden lore that we don't know about, and that is something I would like to see in Age of Calamity. And then we cut to a scene where it seems that Gerudo guards are coming in to back up whatever is going down in Gerudo Desert, and then we cut to Arbosa with Link on the outside, probably once again protecting Zelda, in which she says, "Are you hurt, my little bird?" Which, you know, is Zelda's little nickname, you know, because Arbosa and Zelda's mom were best friends. And I want to see more of that lore in this game, but we might not see it because Zelda's mom did die when she was a kid. Yeah. And then once again, the malice just emanates over to Va Naboris, and Arbosa just showing what's to come. And then we go off, and it's just, I like how we just go straight to Von Meadow with the emanating of nastiness. And it's like, no, we're not going to see Rivali's segment first. We're going to see Rivali's, you know, omen first. And then here we have Rivali just talking over at the flight range, where he's like, yeah, Rito Village is my home. You're not going to come any closer. But this is pre-champion Rivali. We're going to see some gameplay, which is going to be really cool, in which I think this Rivali's Musou attack, where, you know, it takes up a bar, and then he is just straight up using Rivali's Gale, and goodbye enemies, ba-boom, bam, bomb arrows, oh yes, explosion, yeah! But here is something that separates all the other scenes when it comes to the champions apart from Rivali. This is champion Rivali because he already has a scarf. He's on top of Val Meadow, and the sky does not look particularly friendly. It's not red, but it's a tinge of orange, and he has the champion scarf already. He's on Val Meadow already, so this kind of tells me that he's facing down Windblight Ganon already, because he's like, oh, it's finally time for you to see the divine might of Val Meadow. So I think he's staring down Windblight Ganon, and this is him about to get smoked. Oh man, you guys ready for some roasted Rivali? Roasted Rivali ravioli? Bro, this game is gonna slay me, and I'm ready. I'm ready for pain. Let's do this. And then we cut to everyone is here. Literally everyone is here in Korok Forest, the Great Deku Tree. But a couple of things for Eagle Eyes. If you zoom on in to Link, Zelda, and I'm pretty sure that's either Egg or Impa. I can't really make that out. Maybe that's Impa with the hat, or maybe that's Egg or whatever. Anyways, Link has the Master Sword in his hand. Now, a lot of Zelda analysts and a lot of fans have said that this doesn't go along with the lore that is presented in Creating a Champion, in which Link is stated to have the Master Sword from at least 12 or 13 years on. I don't think that's such a big deal, because at that point, he acquired the Master Sword. At that point, they already know he's the chosen one. At that point, they already know he's a hero destined to wield the sword that seals the darkness. So it could be possible at 12, 13, he acquired the sword. He pulled out the sword from maybe this pedestal or from somewhere else. But once again, he did not need it at that point, right? So knowing that he didn't really need it, and maybe he learned about the limitations of the Master Sword from what we see in Breath of the Wild, maybe he learned about it from the Great Deku Tree, or maybe he learned about it the hard way, he left the sword here to be protected in the Lost Woods, knowing that he will need it at one point, but he doesn't need it right now. And at this point, once they see the signs of Calamity Ganon, the champions coming together, whatnot, this is the time. It's like, okay, we're gonna need the sword. I'm gonna need my sword. Let's roll to the Lost Woods. It's cool. Great Deku Tree, we're buddies. We're gonna get the sword, and then everything is going to be a-okay, peachy king. All right. And funny, as we go into the next cutscene, it was Egg. Okay, so it was Egg. Dope. All right. And then the Great Deku Tree is saying, "Oh, we have everything we need to face the destiny ahead." Did he know that we were gonna fall? Because I mean, like, we have everything we need for the destiny ahead. You know what the destiny was? Death. The final destiny for these four individuals behind these the two chosen ones here, Link and Zelda. Oh boy. But it looks like, yeah, we have confirmation that the Great Deku Tree was buddy with all of these people here, and yet we have it's funny because we have two run-of-the-mill Hylian soldiers that accompanied them, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they're here witnessing Link getting the Master Sword, witnessing the majesty of Korok Forest, the Lost Woods, and the Great Deku Tree. But what are they here for? Protection? Zelda's guard? She got Link, she got Daruk, she got like some of the best fighters in Hyrule. Man, like, these two guys, I don't know. Maybe they got smoked later. Maybe we'll find out. And then we have what seems to be a continuation or an adaptation of the Champions Ceremony, which should be after the Champions Ceremony that we see in the Champions Ballad. Everyone has their Champions gear. Link is talking to Arbosa. Mifa's talking to Daruk, and Rivali, being the antisocial bird that he is, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. He's just out chilling by himself. It's like, man, I'm the best here, man. Why is everyone giving Link like all the kudos and stuff? Why does he have the sword, man? Yo, I'm the best of the best. I'm gonna show him off. But it's funny how Rivali and Link, Link is the chosen royal guard of Zelda. Rivali really is the one person here that isn't of royal or noble stature. We have Daruk, the chief of the Grons. We have Mifa, the princess of the Zoras. We have Arbosa, the queen of the Gerudo. We have Link, the royal guard of Hyrule and its princess. We have Princess Zelda, the princess of Hyrule, and we have Rivali, the greatest archer in Rito Village. Woohoo! As they're chilling, relaxing, maxing all cool, shooting some b-ball outside the school, we have the next cutscene, which is pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's like either a preemptive or a post-emptive cutscene from the Lost Woods, because they're in Lost Woods. This probably either before or after Link pulled out the sword. It could be them on their way to the sword. It could be them leaving from the sword. And we have Zelda, Daruk, Link, Mifa, and Rivali. And Mifa looks like to be the one striking up a conversation as she's talking. And Rivali's just there. It's like, yo, man, why am I here? Why am I here with this dude? Am I really just here to watch this dude's moment of glory pulling out the Master Sword, man? Like, what's going on? Why am I here? And yeah, Rivali just doesn't seem to be having a good time. And then here we have Link, Mifa, Arbosa, and Daruk prepared for combat. Link already has the Master Sword in his person, so this is probably right after or a little after him getting the Master Sword from the Lost Woods and whatnot, and he is ready to roll. But it looks like Rivali is nowhere to be seen. Either that, one, he doesn't know how to teamwork very well at this point, or two, he's taken to the skies in order to give them some aerial support. Flip a coin, take your pick. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the chat. And once again, all of these members of the champions, pre-champion attire. You know, we don't have any blue going on. Link in his soldier outfit, Mifa in her princess outfit, you know, Arbosa in her queen outfit, Daruk in his chief outfit. Yeah, it's not time yet. And then we have Zelda issuing an order at the sacred grounds. It doesn't seem like anything's going down quite yet. She seems pretty mad. Maybe there's a time of war before the Calamity, and the Calamity's about to go down, and she's like, okay, let's do it. Let's break it on down. Let's take out these enemies, whoever's in front of us, whoever's in front of them. But then when the Calamity starts, she's gonna be like, oh, no. But then again, this doesn't make sense, because if she's already at the sacred ground at this point, that means the Calamity should have started at this point, because they knew the Calamity started from when they're all the way at the promenade when she came down with Link from Mount Lanayru. So maybe she has some gusto under her belt at this point with the Calamity going down. It's like, okay, we can do this. Let's get it rolling. But I mean, she would not be commanding the champions at this point, because the champions would have divided and dispersed from the Great Promenade in order to make it to the Divine Beast. So maybe she's issuing a command to Link and a bunch of soldiers. Maybe that's what's going down, in order for them to cut a path for her to get to the castle. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes the most sense. Yeah, let's go with that. And oh baby, it's wartime, bro. Oh man, look at this. Everything is on fire. We're just gonna have to reverse the damage done by Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet in Hyrule Warriors Endgame. Oh man, we got a bunch of Guardians already infected by Mouse all over the place. We see this is Vangelina, and it has not been infected yet because it's glowing blue, and there she is, Arbosa on top of it. So maybe this gives us a hint that we'll be able to control Divine Beast in gameplay, and we'll be able to use, you know, those Divine Beast phasers and lasers and just mow down a bunch of Guardians in our path. But man, there is just so much happening here on screen when it comes to all of these areas. Everything's on fire. You know, I would try to make out, but there's way too many clashing colors and whatnot, and that's gonna probably be its own video and whatnot. But I do see the raised Great Plateau in the distance and whatnot. I see it, and I see like what seems to be a town barricade. So it could be this is when, you know, the ruins start to take place when it comes to all of these little towns and camps and whatnot. My lord, I'm ready to cry. Oof, this is horrible. A Guardian stares, and then look at them. Yeah, that's the Guardians. They're turning towns to ruins. This is the ruination, the ruinification, the destruction, the fall of Hyrule, the Age of Calamity. I solved it, guys. It's the Age of Calamity. I get it now. Oh snap. Here we have Zelda, Impa, and Egg, and they seem to be at the base of Hyrule Castle. We can see one of the waterfalls from Hyrule Castle, because Hyrule Castle is big, majestic, like this whole, like, big plot of land that they just, you know, decide to build the castle on. It's pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. Alright, the ground shakes. Link is ready to roll. Something's going down. They look at the castle, and ooh, you see that? That was like a phaser just coming out of the castle. So I mean, it looks like we have Guardians and whatnot, you know, coming from the castle, just firing off, because everyone did lose their lives within the castle, including the king, the knights, attendants, innocent lives just got smoked, and that's probably just a smoking happening in the background. You know, set phasers on fun, Miss Tubsy. Oh man, that's unfortunate. And here we have angry Calamity Ganon actually moving and schmoving. His eye lights up and he is rolling around at the speed of sound. And a lot of people pointed out on social media that's like, oh look, that's him going down into the earth in order for him to become either Calamity Ganondorf or just him coming out of the ground or whatever, going into the ground to come out of the ground. That's where he's been all this time. But I mean, if you continue the scene, you see him going down and then coming right back up. See, that's him. And then whoosh, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Age of Sadness. I am so ready for this game. What do you guys think of Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, the HMK hype, analysis, and secrets? Did I miss anything? Leave what you think in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed it and learned some, please share, like, favorite, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK for more videos on this game and Zelda and more as we continue on towards release week by week by week. And once again, big thanks to my Patreon supporters for making this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, check out my Patreon info in the description box below. Alright guys, until the next video, this has been HMK, and I will check you guys later.